Well, because we've got wind-up toys on the show today, I had to come up with a special joke. So what I came up with was, wind-up toy walks into the bar, has a few drinks, looks around and asks, how did I wind up here?
Oh.
I love that one. That's pretty
Joke for
cool.
everything. I love it.
Everything. Where do you get these? It's amazing. What's
He's a
going on
dad.
in
He's just
that brain?
inherited being a dad.
When his kids were born,
Dad
a
jokes.
manual came and he studied it.
You refer to my contract under section 2.3.8.
Well, welcome to the
Oh,
Masterful Morning Show, everyone. We are here on a Friday evening to talk to the one and only Marla Mogul. We are so excited that she is here. She is such a wonderful mentor of ours and a wonderful friend. We're so glad that you could join us today, Marla.
thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
So Marla is the founder of the Windup Project and is the holder of the, well, she has the largest collection of wind-up toys in the world. And she, in the Windup Project, shares all of those toys to all of us. And it's a beautiful project. We love it so much. It's great for the whole family. Kids love looking at the toys. Collectors love learning all about these kind of antiques that you've been showing lately of the old-fashioned toys, wind-up toys. I didn't realize that there was such a breadth of categories within the wind-up toy genre, and I'm just loving learning all about it. And I literally just watch it because it's cute and it makes me giggle and laugh, and I just love when they make noises or they do funny dances. I think it's just so wonderful. And so, Marla, I know you share a lot about how you got started in your YouTube channel, but I would love to know that, like, as you were collecting the toys, when did it really become serious for you, where you were like, oh, I'm going to now have the largest collection? Or like, what was that journey like? How did you end up where you are now?
Yeah, well, it's really quite a story. I originally just got this little ski bunny in Vail, Colorado. It was the first time I learned how to ski, and I was taking some time off. And honestly, I actually ditched my never ever ski class because I really hated it. But now I'm an avid skier, and I was wandering around town, and I always loved toys. I'm a lover of toys. I went into a toy store and I got this little ski bunny, and it said Vail across its front. And I just actually, what happened is I was in therapy at the time, and we were talking about getting in touch with your inner child. And I had a really bad childhood, and I was never really allowed to be a child. I had to grow up really fast because I didn't have any direction in my life. I didn't have any role models or anything. So I used to go into these fantasy worlds and kind of create my own stuff. And I just realized the joy that I got from the toys. And it wasn't intentional to actually start a collection. The intention was to get toys, to play with toys. I also have a collection of Jacks. I have a collection of Jack in the Boxes. So I was just doing things to really tap into my inner child. And every time I saw a wind up toy, I just had to have it. And that started the collection. And the interesting thing too is that I don't buy every single wind up toy that I see. I really have to like it. It really has to speak to me. And so I have turned some down. And Marion, what you were just saying about learning so much about them, I didn't know any of this either until I started doing the YouTube channel. And I figured if I'm going to do the channel, I have to say something. So I started researching the toys. So I'm learning all about this. I didn't know any of this. I just bought them because I loved them and I enjoyed them. And I'm so happy to hear you say that you just giggle when you see them, because that's my intention. It's just, I can't help looking at a wind up toy without smiling. It's like impossible for me. And especially when you actually see them working. And my husband and I are working on this project together, and we just laugh. Like, we look at these toys, we wind them up, and we just laugh. And I just want to share that joy and laughter one of my inspirations is comedy and laughter. And I think no matter what situation you're in, it's just so healthy for everybody. And that's when the idea came to me, is just, why keep this collection to myself? There's so many people out there that could benefit from this also. And that's the Windup Project. And that's what I love about it, is that it's so simple. It's such a simple thing. These toys cost like $3. I mean, this is not like a valuable collection. That's not why I'm doing it. It's just for pure enjoyment. And I've definitely fulfilled that inner child while I'm doing this. So that's how it all started.
That's so awesome. Oh, Marion, did you have something?
I just was going to say, wow, that's amazing. And I did not anticipate hearing those details about your story. So that's like, that makes it even more incredible. And yeah, I'm blown away. Go ahead, Mel.
No.
What I love is it makes so much sense now, because honestly, like, it feels like therapy when I watch it. So it's like, that has that background to it. And I do, in the middle of the day, if I catch myself getting wound up, I'll go to your channel to unwind and to laugh and have fun. And my son likes watching them with me, and then we'll pick out which ones are our favorite for that episode. It's really cool. And then
Oh,
to
I love
see who
that.
you mentioned at the end also is like that extra little bonus treat. It's so
Mhm.
wonderful and relaxing.
Oh, thanks.
One of the
Thanks.
things I wanted to ask you, and I've been fortunate enough to kind of see some of the behind the scenes and you making decisions on different things as well. And, I really, really look up to you, and especially because I'll see you come up with an idea, and then like the next minute, it's like you've got it and you're going with it. Like, and it's not like a haphazard thing, it's thought out, but it's like you take the moment, almost like if it feels right for you, and you go for it. And so many people have that thing that just stops them. They have this great idea, it really strikes them, and then they just don't do anything with it. And we see it all of the time. And it's just such a joy that you move forward on it. But do you know what it is, or why you're able to do that? So, I mean, from the outside, it looks easily, just if you can speak to that, that'd be wonderful.
Sure. Yeah. And I really pride myself on that, because I realize most people do not take action. They have all these great ideas because it's a risk. I think I'm a big risk taker, and I have fears, but I put them aside because it's something I really, really want. And it's a feeling. It's like when this whole thing transitioned to the Windup Project, I was like a different person. I mean, it was really, the minute it became an idea, thank you, Talos, that was it. I just ran with it, and I'm having the best time ever. And I think where that comes from is that I had a lot of losses in my life at a very young age. Lost my mom when I was in my 20s, then my dad died a few years later. I had a good friend die actually that same year. And at that moment in my 20s, which I think most people don't get that realization at that age, I just realized how precious life was, and I didn't want to waste any of it. It was just really life-changing for me. And I saw my mother suffer. I've been with so many sick people that have passed away. I spent so much time in hospitals that I just kept getting this reoccurring feeling like, okay, this is my purpose of caring for people. And there's a reason why I'm always being called into these situations. And it just made me realize how you just really, I don't want to waste any time. I mean, it's like useless to, if you don't do something about these ideas and be bold. I think it just takes boldness, it takes guts and self-confidence, which I don't always have, but for some reason when I'm presented with challenges, I also love the challenge. And self-development, I think it's always, you never stop. You never stop. No matter what I've achieved, I just keep on going, keep on going. And yeah, it's just that perseverance, and I think taking the risk. And it's exciting. And they haven't all been successful. Like the one I'll say quit, because I did quit with the Diabetes Made Simple. It was very short-lived, and I didn't have any clients. But I just stopped. It's like there were no regrets. It just felt right. And I mean, I dropped it in 2 seconds. I mean, that was it. It was out of my mind. It was over. It was done. because I knew that wasn't my true authentic self. It's like I was searching for something, but that wasn't it. And that's what I've done a lot of my life. And I think that's why I just continue to keep doing things, because I want to do it until it feels right. And I've gone through years of doing things that just I wasn't feeling it. So I move on. And it's just, I think, really knowing and being in touch with your feelings and knowing when it's time. Like when it's time to, I'm just not feeling it anymore. I used to think it was because I got bored, because I love creating, but I'm not so much with the maintenance. And that's what I used to tell myself was, and I think that's still true. I love creating. So the Windup Project, I'm very hopeful that it will continue forever. And I think the goal of having the Guinness World Records is definitely keeping me motivated. And I now have these new goals about getting 1 million followers. And so having goals helps too.
Every time, like every interaction with you, just more and more, I have more respect for you. And yes, so thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you. Well, the three of you have a lot to do with this, the inspiration that you've given me. And, you make me feel like I can do anything. And, when Talos first came up with this idea, and I was just starting Diabetes Made Simple, and I don't even know what motivated me to tell you about my wind-up toy collection. And when Talos first said that about the YouTube channel, I'm like, yeah, you're right. That, I could, but I was so focused on Diabetes Made Simple, but it never left my mind. And part of my goals, it was, okay, do the diabetes videos, but I have to do the wind-up toys too. And I just never did. It just, I don't know, it just wasn't the right time. And once I made that decision, because it was a while between when you came up with the idea and when I actually decided to start doing it. So I thank the three of you.
That's wonderful. Thanks, Marla. So I reckon we spent most of this year hanging out on calls. And I think the most memorable point of that year is there's pre Marla and Wind-Up Toys and post Marla with Wind-Up Toys. There was that specific point in the moment where you came on the call and you had all these Wind-Up Toys on, and we're like, what is going on here? So if you want to tell us a bit about that.
It's just so funny because it's been a part of my life for probably 35 years. And it's just second nature to me. I don't think about it. It's just been part of who I am. But on the other hand, I don't really share it with other people too. Like I think a lot of my friends who I've been friends with for a long time don't even know about it. And people walk into my home and they just freak out. I mean, it's all about, because you walk into my office, literally surrounded with wind-up toys. And, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I don't make a big deal about it because again, it's just part of who I am. And I don't even know that one call. Well, I do know. It was, I had wanted to get in the Guinness Book of World Records years ago, sent in the application. And it was so overwhelming to me that I thought, okay, I just kept putting it off. And I kept renewing my application, renewing it. And then finally it just expired. And then it just came back to my mind. And I don't think these things just come back into your mind. I think it's, part of the whole energy of this whole group that prompted me to just say, okay, I want to do that Guinness World Records thing again. And I think it was a call where we were talking about our goals. And I just came up with that and didn't realize the kind of reaction that I would get from everybody. But then it's like, oh yeah. And I think too, because probably the way I present myself is I've always been really professional and pretty buttoned up and always wanted to be that kind of person, that it was so unexpected, because I think people don't see that playful, fun side of me, when in reality, that's a really big part of who I am. I feel childlike. I feel like a kid, and who cares how old I am? I don't want to ever grow up, or at least not be mature. So I think, yeah, it just, I really attribute a lot of it to the energy of the group, of something that was always there. And it just, I say it came out of nowhere, but it probably didn't. So I attributed a lot of to you guys. And I love the reaction that I got from you. That to me was the most gratifying thing ever. Marion especially. I mean, she
My
was
jaw hit
so
the floor
blown
when you
away.
started talking about it. I couldn't believe it.
And then like when we
know.
saw the picture, like when we saw you in a group and we're like PMing each other, we're like, oh my God, did you see Marla's wall? Like there was more behind the scenes too that we were just, and then we get on with you and we try and act all cool.
I love it. I love
that,
it.
and that's the joy. Like that's what you're bringing out in people. Like it's just
Yeah.
so authentic. We all want to be that kid. So
Yeah,
awesome.
right. I think so. It's that, you know, after all these years of growing up and all the stuff we used to do, we didn't care about it because we just did it. And now over the years, you know, we have all the crap in our head and prevents us from doing that. Like I always say, I would love to go to a store and get on the floor and start crying like my kids used to do. Just why can't we start crying? Like, you know, kids do it. And it's just like, I feel like that would be so much relief. And just again, being your authentic self. Like, this is how I feel right now. Why do we have to suppress it and be adults and grown up? Like, what happened to that? Why can't we just go back and be free to when we were a kid? And I just, it just always resonates with me. And like I said, I don't want that child to ever go away. I just think it's so important for us to get through life with that attitude. I just think it's, yeah, it's just
Okay,
really.
you guys heard it here first.
Yeah.
Hashtag tantrum challenge.
Oh, it's on. I'll make a
Right?
video. I do it with my
I
kids.
don't want to throw a tantrum.
And you're getting a lot of love in the chat, Marla. I've got to say, Karen and Natalia they're giving you a bunch of love. You just draw
Right?
people in. It's awesome.
It's
Yeah,
just such
speaking
a
of drawing
thing.
people in, you hit me with something real hard right before this interview. You know, we're in masterminds together, Masterful Manifestors together, and you have met more people than anyone else in the group. And you just met two wonderful people today too. Like, you really do magnetize amazing, wonderful people, and you get to meet them in person. And I'm so jealous because I've never met any of you on this call in person ever. So yeah, how does that feel? And like, when you meet them in real life, like, are they legit?
You got to come to the West Coast, girl.
I love it. Marion, you come on, we're gonna meet, okay? We're all gonna meet. And I mean, Melanie, you're coming out to LA. I mean, there's no question you're gonna be here. And Marion, that's such an interesting question that you just asked me that, because I just had this feeling when I was down at the beach the other day, and Melanie, when I was talking about Malibu, and you're like, oh, you're making me jealous. And I had this powerful, powerful feeling when I was down at the beach the other day. I thought, I'm bringing all of you with me. It's not like I want to make you jealous or anything like that. It's like, you know what? I'm taking you all there with me. It was just such a strong force that I felt inside me. And I felt that way today, you know, with Ryan and Adrian. It's like, this is just the way it's supposed to be. And I do get such a thrill out of meeting people in person, and they are totally authentic to what you see and hear in all these groups, and maybe even better because you feel the energy even closer. It is the coolest thing. And we are all going to have some kind of get together, right? I mean, we all, I want that so much, and I'll make it happen. It's just something that it has to happen. It just does. And yeah, Marion, that's kind of one of my things. I love bringing people together, like-minded people, because I have other groups of friends that it's not the same feeling. You know, it's like I just really felt like I found my tribe here, and I've never had that in my life. I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of acquaintances that's very different than this. And I don't feel the same way about when I'm with them that I do here. But yeah, I do. I just have that because I guess I want to. That's part of who I am. It's that, it's like I feel like it's a really strong force within me. Yeah, so it's definitely something. And something else I just thought of, like my YouTube channel, when it started, I sent it out to friends, relatives. I have this pretty good, close group of friends who I haven't talked to in a while, and I didn't tell them about it. And I have to do it. Challenge me to that, okay? There's 3 people.
You've been challenged. Tell everybody.
I have to, and I'm holding back because they don't know that part of me. That's who I was, like, in a different life. And I guess for some reason, there's something holding me back about it. I don't want them to know the real me, because they'll probably think they are the straight-laced, button-up ones that are so proper and have these perfect, and they really do. They have great lives. I have to say, like, you never really know what goes on in somebody's lives, but these people are really solid.
You have a great life, Marla.
Yeah,
I know.
But even with them, Marla, wouldn't they like to connect to their inner child? I don't know anyone.
So.
I don't know anyone that wouldn't. So instead of like switching, instead of, you know, the image, think about what you can bring to them.
You're right.
You know?
You're right.
So
I never think of it like that. I always think like they're up here and I'm down here, even though I know they don't see me that way. I know that. Yeah, that's something I've got to get over. And you're right. When you ask me that about, don't they want to get in touch with their inner child? Maybe deep down they do. They would never admit it. They would never want to go there.
You can't make that decision.
So, right. It's just out of their realm. And maybe that's one of the reasons too. But you're right.
You don't know until you've shared.
No,
they might surprise you like you surprised us. Remember, you were that buttoned up person to us.
Yeah.
And just imagine like what can come from it. Oh, I have this collection, or look at this. Oh, I've been wanting to talk to you about this. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like the universe works mysteriously and beautifully, and just so
I'm gonna
wonderful.
do it. I'm gonna do
it.
it.
Yes, we all heard it.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. You heard it here. Now I have to do it.
I love that you love challenges too.
Oh,
this is so
come
awesome.
on. That's what gets me motivated. Is like you tell me something like, oh, you can't do that, or nobody's been ever able to do that. I'm like, okay, that's all you had to say. You know, one of my first jobs, well, not my first job, my big entry into the corporate world was at Baxter Healthcare, a really large corporation. And I created a position for myself there. I was in marketing and advertising, and I just had this knack for planning, for event planning. And I started this position. I was working with the CEO and the top corporate VPs. And what I loved about it is everything I had to do was like things that they never knew could be possible. Like it was the NBA championship and the Chicago Bulls were in it, and we were in probably Scottsdale or something. And I figured out how to rent out an entire bar for, you know, these, there were only like 12 of us, rent out a bar so we could watch the championship because nobody else really cared about it. It was Chicago. And things like that. I found places that nobody knew about. And I just have a knack for doing that. And I love it. You know, even the windups, it's like, who else does that? You know, well, this one other guy who has 1,048, who I definitely want to connect with. But yeah, that to me is the most exciting, like doing something that nobody else can do, or find things out that nobody else knows about, where people come to me, like in Chicago, they're like, okay, so what restaurant is best for, you know, ABC? And I take so much pride in knowing where to send them. And it's just a thing.
Oh, you're speaking my language, Marla.
I know,
my goodness.
Planner, right?
I
love planning things. Yeah.
Oh man, this has been the best interview ever, Marla.
You guys
I'm crying, I'm laughing, I'm happy.
You guys, Karen and Natalia are very excited and they're pumped, and they're Karen's ready for tantrums.
Yes.
Tantrum
Yes.
I think we added a new week to Masterful Manifestors.
Tantrum challenge. Come on.
Oh man,
that might be our best one. Awesome.
Oh, come on. Don't you just want to do that?
Oh my goodness.
Just sounds so great.
I don't, but
really? When you're
we'll walk you through
frustrated and Yeah,
I'm
just want to
good.
do it. You're good? Oh,
I'm
come on,
good.
Marianne.
I like to
Can't be that good.
tantrum behind the closed doors.
Well, yeah, true. But if you can, as long
But
as you're
do it like
tantruming.
you can do it in a playful manner. You know, you can.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how I'm envisioning it, in a playful manner. It might
Mm,
carry into something else.
mm.
Yeah, like maybe throwing something like a stuffed animal, something that's not
Now
going to
we're
hurt
getting
anybody.
violent. Okay.
No.
Mhm.
Well, or banging it against the floor or something like that. Yeah, that
Mm.
was also one of my other things. Is I've always like I want to go to a china shop. Oh, and they have those places, like those rooms where you can go in and just bang everything. And yeah, I
Oh,
guess
rage
maybe
rooms.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes, it's a
yes,
thing.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. And I'm not an angry person, so I don't think it's that.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
something, it's just like that gratification, maybe because you can't do it. Like whenever you go into one of the stores, you have to be so careful. And it's maybe because you can't do it. And that's why I want to do it. It's forbidden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're a risk taker. Well, Marla, thank you
For
so much
sure.
for coming on this show. Please tell us how we can follow the Windup Project.
Well, my YouTube channel, The Windup Project, and I know Marion, you had that link so quick. Where do you keep that you get to it so fast?
I'm just really fast at Googling. But yeah, it's the link is
Okay.
in the description, so you guys can check
Thank
it
you.
out.
Yep.
Subscribe, follow it. I like, oh my gosh, I have so many favorites. I love the Wizard of Oz video, of course, because you dedicated it to us
Yes,
for
that
sure.
was you. That was all
This
you.
week has been Disney. If you guys love Disney, oh my gosh, check out this week's. And she's got some vintage toys that are so cool. And yeah, do you have any like teasers you can give us of videos coming up?
No, because talking about planning, I had them all planned out in Chicago, and now I'm like, I got to start like video taping again tomorrow. Uh, Here's something that I've been thinking of. People love animals, right? So I'm thinking and I've got some ideas. Oh, I hired a new social media person. Great ideas. They're not just going to be on display the way that I've been doing them. I'm going to put a little action between the toys. Okay, kind of make believe land. It reminds me of Toy Story. Wait, my toys remind me that, in Toy Story, how they, like, I'm always thinking, I'll go in there in the middle of the night and they're all alive. They're all talking to each other and moving around. So, yeah, so something like that, a little bit different than what I'm doing now.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm here for it all. I'm front row seat.
Yes.
I've got my popcorn. It's the best. Thank you so much, Marla, for coming on the show. We love you so much.
Thank you. I love you guys so much. You've made such a difference in my life, and I appreciate it so much. And you've brought out the best in me, for sure, that I didn't even know was there. So thank you. You guys are
amazing. You're amazing, Marla.
Thank you. Thanks so much.